Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making a Porg cake, and Porg is this cute little bird character from the new movie Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I just love this little character so much. He's so cute, and yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so one quick thing before we get started. Yes, this is a picture of Porg from the Last Jedi movie, and so I just wanted to let you guys know to learn from my mistakes, because a mistake that I made when making this cake was I used a packaged cake mix, and I also used a packaged frosting instead of making from scratch. For this type of cake, like a 3D model, standing up cake, I definitely recommend making a cake and frosting from scratch because it's less crumbly, and a cake from scratch would be like tougher, so it could handle a lot of layering, and while the box cake mixes are very soft and crumbly and they just fall apart pretty easily. So that's one thing. And also because of the cake and the frosting that I use, the packaged cake and frosting, my cake was just starting to crumble, fall apart. You'll see that my porg is going to be tipping over in the beginning. Luckily, I was able to fix it later on, but and then also you'll notice in the beginning some of the fondant starting to bunch up together, and it was a struggle, but I'm happy with the result because I did the best that I could with the cake that I had. If I had actually made a cake from scratch and frosting from scratch, it probably would have come out a lot cleaner, but this was the best I could do with my cake practically falling apart in front of me. So the cakes I have here, on the bottom we have half of a ball cake, and then we have two 6-inch rounds, and then you could see I have straws sticking through for support, but you should definitely cut off the tops, which I did not do, another mistake that I made. So make sure you snip off the tops of the straws there so that they don't poke through the top of your cake. And as you can see here, I just put on the top part of the ball cake. So here I just did a crumb coat, and I put my cake in the fridge for an hour to chill, and then I took it out again, and this part took me a while, so I didn't get it on camera, but I took a serrated knife and I started carving the shape of the porg. So I'm going to explain to you each part, what I did basically with the knife to get that porg shape. So in the front by his head, I just curved my knife inwards and then outwards. So you're making like a bowling pin kind of shape. So a bowling pin, starts rounded at the top and then curves in, and then it goes out and curves in again towards the bottom. So that's the shape you want for the porg. So here we have the back where I'm trying to make a tail, so I just cut out a flat part on his body, and then by the tail I just cut inwards on like an angle sort of to create like a point for the tail. So once you've carved out the shape and covered it with frosting again, you're going to make out of fondant this white piece, which is going to be a mold for his mouth. So here I just covered the rest of the cake with white fondant, and you could see that it's clearly a struggle. The fondant is breaking, falling apart, and we've got the leaning tower of porg. But then I just took a ball fondant tool and I just went over the mouth mold that we made, and I also used a fondant smoother and just went over the whole cake to try and smooth out this mess. So right now I'm using a fondant tool called a veining tool, which I'm using to make the little nostrils in his nose and to make his frown, because porgs just have a natural frown. They're sad all the time. Here I just made some brown fondant and I covered the back of the porg and the top of his head and, you know, the sides, as you can see. Here I'm taking the veining tool again, and I'm just creating a bunch of lines all over the brown part of the fondant just to create the look of feathers all over the porg. So just do that all over the brown fondant. Although it's hard to see on camera, trust me, the lines are there, but this is what it looks like after you're done doing the lines. So now I just rolled out some orange fondant and I created the feet. So just to make the feet, you just cut out sort of triangle shapes and, you know, point them and then just make it rounded at the bottom. And I was using this metal tool, don't know what it's called, and I was wearing gloves because I didn't want to get the dye on my hands. I know it looks like I'm a surgeon or something. Now just put the feet at the bottom of the cake. So now I just rolled out fondant in a lighter brown color, and this is going to be a part of his eye, so it's just like a teardrop shape, a very big teardrop. And then you just stick those pieces on the cake using water. So to stick fondant onto fondant, you put some water on the back of the piece that you want to stick to the cake, and that's that. So instead of the veining tool, I decided to use the scallop tool. So I just thought this would work a lot better, and I was able to create a lot more lines faster, so it saved me a lot of time. And I was just stroking that over the eyepieces and it created the feathered look. So here I just rolled out some more dark brown fondant and I formed it into another teardrop shape, so this is going to be for the wing, and I'm taking the veining tool and I'm going to create 4 lines on the wing, and you want to press kind of deep to get a really defined line that you can really see. And now once again I'm taking the scallop tool and I'm just making some smaller feathered lines to make it look like feathers and to make it look like an actual wing. So now I'm just using black fondant to make the porg's eye. So what I did was I rolled it into a ball and then I pressed my finger on the bottom to create a flat bottom so it would be easier to stick on the cake. So porgs have these big bulging eyes that just pop out, so that's why I rolled it into a ball and made it really like stick out on the cake. And then of course, just to stick it on the cake, you just put some water on the back and just hold it there for a few seconds to let it dry, and then you got the eyes stuck on the cake. Here I just rolled out some light brown fondant, like really light brown, and I just created a ring around the eyes, and it makes sort of like an outline for the eyes. And now I just added 2 little white dots on his eyes to make like a little reflection on his eyes. And then finally for his feet, I just added some black toenails or claws or whatever you want to call those. And I just cut out triangles and then stuck them on top of the feet. And our adorable porg cake is finished. I am pretty happy with how it turned out, considering my cake was just falling apart as I was making it. So yeah, I think it was a success overall.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe because I post every Tuesday, and comment down below any questions or suggestions for what I could bake in the future. And also my social media links are down below, so go follow me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!